Hello students, welcome to the video class for the subject Power Electronics and PLC. This video class is for 5th semester Electrical and Electronics Diploma Engineering students. So today we will start with module 4. In this module we will study about the different applications of power electronics circuit. So under the different applications of power electronics circuit study about the we will study about the UPS, battery charger circuit and switch mode power supply circuit, which is also in short form we can call it as a SMPS. So we will start with the SMPS. SMPS is the full form is switch mode power supply. So in this switch mode power supply, what happens? See, so with the advancement in the electronics, need for DC power supply for use in integrated circuit and digital circuit has increased mainly. So for such electronic circuit, NASA was first developed a lightweight and compact switch mode power supply in 1960 for use it in the space vehicle. So subsequently this power supply became popular and presently the SMPS has around 70 to 80% of the total number of power supply produced. Okay, so in the SMPS, what is its main principle is that SMPS is based on the chopper principle. In chopper, we already studied that chopper is a electronic circuit which convert fixed DC to variable DC. So in the SMPS also the output DC voltage is controlled by varying the duty cycle as in chopper by PWM or frequency modulation technique. Frequency modulation technique is FM technique and PWM is the pulse width modulation technique. So the circuit configuration used for SMPS can be classified into four broad categories, that is the flyback, push-pull, half bridge and full bridge. So in SMPS circuit, whatever SMPS circuit we will study here, that is the flyback, push-pull, half bridge and full bridge circuit. In all these circuits, PWM technique is used for inverter. Okay, so the output of the inverter is then converted to DC by the diode rectifier. As the inverter is made to operate at very high frequency, the ripples on the DC output voltage can be filtered out easily by using small filter components. So if the switching device are power transistors, the chopping frequency is limited to 40 kHz. So for power MOSFET, the chopping frequency is of the order of 200 kHz. So as a result, size of the filter circuit and transformer decreases, leading to considerable saving. So in high frequency, ferrite core is used in transformer. So the four categories of SMPS which we listed above are now discussed briefly. So first we will study about the flyback converter. So what happens in the flyback converter? Okay, see, these are all the applications of power electronics circuit. So one of them is the SMPS, switch mode power supply. So under this we will study four categories of circuit. So first one is the flyback converter. So in flyback converter, see, so in flyback converter, the circuit configuration is see, the circuit configuration for flyback converter is given here. So this is your circuit configuration. It consists of one uncontrolled rectifier, one transformer, one MOSFET, power MOSFET M1, one diode D, then then your filter circuit, for the filtering purpose capacitor is used. See, in the circuit configuration, it consists of power MOSFET M1, transformer for isolation purpose, this is the transformer, then diode, then capacitor, then load. Okay. So here the uncontrolled rectifier converts AC to DC output. So see this AC, see here, here it is a AC supply is there. Then this AC is converted to DC output by using uncontrolled rectifier, which is fed to the flyback SMPS. This is the flyback SMPS. So when see how this circuit is, what is the working principle of this circuit. See, when the power MOSFET is turned on, supply voltage, this Vs is applied to the transformer. When this is on, this circuit is closed by this switch, so power supply, so the supply Vs is appear across the transformer primary, so V1 is equal to Vs, so a corresponding voltage V2 with the polarity as shown in this figure. See here the dot is here, so it is plus, it is minus, the dot is here, it is plus, it is minus. So if Vs is applied in V1, then in V2 it is the same voltage is induced in the transformer secondary with the given polarity. So here it is plus, it is minus, so V2 is equal to Vs into N2 by N1. See, we already know that V2 by V1 equals to N2 by N1. So this is the transformation ratio equation we already know. So from this V2 is equal to what? V1 into N2 by N1. So here V1 is Vs. So V2 is equal to V1 Vs into N2 by N1. So as V2 reverse biases diode, see it is here plus and it is minus. So this reverse biases the diode. Okay. So equivalent circuit of this main circuit configuration is obtained like this. See, this is the circuit. Here diode is open. Okay. So filter capacitance C is assumed large enough so that capacitor voltage VCT is equal to load or output voltage V0 is taken as almost constant. See, whatever voltage appear in this so whatever voltage is appear across this capacitor, this is appear across this load. Okay. So now when M1 is off, see, when M1 is off means this part, this is here M1 is off. So when M1 is off, a voltage of opposite polarity is induced in primary and secondary winding. See, this is the opposite polarity. When M1 is off, so voltage induced in opposite polarity. Here this is plus minus and minus plus. It is opposite here, minus plus and plus minus. And due to this opposite polarity, voltage across transformer secondary is now V2 is equal to minus V0. So that is equal to minus Vs into N2 by N1. Now diode D is forward biased and starts conducting. So now here ID current flows. As a result, energy stored in the transformer core is delivered partly to load and partly to charge this capacitor. Okay, see, current is flowing here also, current is flowing here also. So this is how the flyback converter or SMPS switch work in this circuit configuration. Okay, so these are all not required for you. You just know, you just study the circuit configuration and the working principle, and these are all the waveforms. This is the V1 waveform. This is V2 waveform. This is V1 waveform. These are all not required for you in application part. We just study about the circuit configuration, working principle and its application. So see, application part, what it is here. Flyback converter offers simple SMPS and is useful for application below about 500 watt. So below 500 watt applications, flyback converter SMPS switch is used. Okay. And the next category is the push-pull converter. So what is this push-pull converter? See, this is the circuit configuration, push-pull circuit configuration. It uses two SMPS. It uses two power MOSFET, that is M1 and M2. See here, this is one M2, this is M1. Two power MOSFET switch is there. Then one transformer with mid tap in both primary and secondary. See, in primary side it is tapped at midpoint, in secondary side it is tapped at the midpoint. And then same as in the flyback converter, an uncontrolled rectifier is here. This is the uncontrolled rectifier which feeds push-pull SMPS. So this is totally, this whole part is the push-pull configuration, and this uncontrolled rectifier feed this SMPS part. And inductor and inductor L and capacitor C are the filter components, and this is the load. Then how this circuit works? See here, when M1 is turned on, Vs voltage is applied to the lower half of the transformer primary. See, when M1 is turned on, that means current flows in this path. This is the input through the M1. This is the path. Like this, supply is apply across the transformer. Okay. So when M1 is turned on, Vs is, see here the voltage is Vs. So Vs is applied to the lower half of the transformer primary. That's why this V1 is equal to Vs. V1 is equal to Vs. So as a result, voltage V2. So now V2 is equal to what? Vs into N2 by N1 is induced in both the secondary winding. So in both, see here V2 is here also and here also. So both in both the half of secondary winding, the V2 is this much. Vs into N2 by N1 is induced in both the secondary windings. So voltage V2 in upper half of secondary forward bias is diode D1. So see, this plus and this is minus, this is plus. So this forward bias is diode D1, okay, and reverse bias is diode D2. So when forward bias is diode D1, now this is like this, current is flowing in this path and we got output at the load. Okay, so when V2 in the upper half secondary, forward bias is diode D1, therefore load voltage V0 is given by, this is the V0 equation, is equal to Vs into N2 by N1, that is equal to alpha into Vs. Here alpha represents N2 by N1. Okay, so same in the same as when M2 is turned on, V1 is equal to minus Vs applied to the upper half of the primary winding. See, when M2 is turned on means the path is like this, M2. This is the path. This is supplies. See how the path. Wait a minute. Eraser. when M2 is turned on, the path is like this. See, this is the path through the upper half of the primary winding, through M2, then back to source. This is the path. See, this plus is connected here and this minus is connected here. So obviously here the polarity has changed. Okay. So when M2 is turned on, V1 is equal to minus Bs applied to the upper half of primary winding, and consequently output is minus Vs into N2 by N1 is induced in both the transformer secondary. As V2 is negative, diode D2 gets forward bias. See, when V2 is negative, V2 negative, that means this is now positive and this is negative. So the diode D2 is forward biased. Okay. So when diode D2 is forward biased, then V0 is equal to alpha Vs. Okay. This shows that voltage on the primary swings from plus Vs with M1 on to minus Vs with M2 on. So power MOSFET M1 and M2 operate with duty cycle 0.5. Okay. So when M1 is off, the voltage across M1 terminal is 2 Vs, open circuit voltage. And as both M1 and M2 are subject to open circuit voltage of 2 Vs, this configuration is suitable for low voltage applications only. So the push-pull converter circuit, the push-pull configuration of SMPS is suitable for low voltage applications only. Okay. And in the two categories are completed here. One is your flyback converter, another one is your push-pull converter, and the next one is the half bridge converter. What happens in half bridge converter? See the configuration first. In the half bridge configuration, here an uncontrolled rectifier is here, two capacitors C1 and C2 is there, and two power MOSFET M1 and M2 are there. Then the isolation transformer is here, where the secondary side is center tapped. Okay. Then two diodes D1 and D2 and filter components L and C are there. Okay. So how this circuit configuration works? See, two capacitors C1 and C2 have equal capacitances, so therefore voltage across each of the two is Vs by 2. Okay. See, here the supply is Vs, but two capacitors have equal capacitance, that's why it is Vs by 2. It is Vs by 2. And then when M1 turned on, voltage of C1 appears across transformer primary. When M1 turned on, so see, this is the path like this in the primary. This is the path. Okay. So when M1 is turned on, voltage of C1 appears across transformer primary, that's why V1 is equal to Vs by 2. So this is the V1, here V1 appears, this is V1. So V1 is equal to Vs by 2, and voltage induced in the secondary is V2 into Vs by 2 into N1 by N2, and diode D1 gets forward bias. See, diode D1 gets, this is diode D1 gets forward bias, and this is the output path. So see, when M2 is turned on, a reverse voltage of Vs by 2 appear across transformer primary from C2. See, when M2 is turned on, that means, so when M2 is turned on, the capacitor voltage across capacitor C2 is appear across transformer primary. So this is the path. Okay. When M2 is turned on means like this. This is like this. Through M2 it is come back. Okay. So see the plus is appear here and the minus is appear here. That's why negative voltage. Okay, so reverse voltage of Vs by 2 appear across transformer primary from C2. So V1 is equal to minus Vs by 2 and voltage induced in secondary winding is V2 is equal to minus Vs by 2 into N2 by N1. Therefore diode D2 gets forward bias. This means transformer primary voltage swings from minus Vs by 2 to plus Vs by 2 and average output voltage is your this much 0.5 alpha into Vs. In the previous it is V0 is equal to alpha into Vs, but here it is V0 is equal to Vs by 2 into N2 by N1 is equal to 0.5 of alpha Vs. So when M1 is off, open circuit voltage across M1 is Vs. When M2 is off, open circuit voltage is Vs again. So for HVDC application, half bridge converter, for HVDC high voltage DC application, half bridge converter is used, and for LVDC low voltage DC applications, push pull SMPS is preferred. Okay, because in due to the low MOSFET current. Okay, so in HVDC applications, half bridge converter is preferred over push pull converter. For LVDC application, push pull SMPS is preferred due to low MOSFET current. And the last category is the full bridge converter. In the full bridge converter circuit, see the capacitors are omitted here and 4 MOSFETs are connected in bridge form. Okay. It consists of uncontrolled rectifier, 4 MOSFET, transformer with mid tap in the secondary winding, 2 diodes D1 and D2, LC filter circuit components and load. So and a function of in each circuit, control circuit is there. This is the control circuit. So the function of control circuit is to sense the output load voltage and to decide about the duty ratio of MOSFET. This is the function of control circuit. So how this configuration works, see, when power MOSFET M1 and M2 turn on together, see, this is the bridge configuration. So like this, M1 operate through the transformer primary, then M2, then back to supply. Okay, this is the path. So when M1 and M2 turn on together, voltage Vs appear across transformer primary. So V1 is equal to Vs and secondary voltage is V2 is equal to Vs into N2 by N1. So alpha into Vs. And diode D1 gets forward bias. So V0 is equal to alpha into Vs. So when M3 and M4 are turned on together, similarly, so when M3 and M4 conducts, so the path is like this. This is the path from this. This is M3 coming from this one, then through the transformer, then it is coming back like this, then M4, then back. So see, here the plus is connects this point, plus, and this minus appear here. Okay, so when M3 and M4 turned on together, the primary voltage is now reversed. V1 is equal to minus Vs. So V2 is equal to minus Vs into N2 by N1 is equal to minus alpha Vs. Therefore diode D2 now begins to conduct and output voltage again V0 is equal to alpha into Vs. And the open circuit voltage across each MOSFET is Vs. Okay, so all the 4 configuration of SMPS full bridge converter operate with minimum voltage and current stress on the power MOSFET. Therefore, it is very popular for high power applications above 750 watt. Okay, because it operates with minimum voltage and current stress on the power MOSFET. That's why it can very popular for high power applications above 750 watt. So the overall size of SMPS is depend on its operating frequency. Okay, so use of power transmitter is limited to approximately 40 to 50 kilohertz. Above this operating frequency, power MOSFET are used up to 200 kilohertz. So what are the main advantages of SMPS over conventional linear power supply are, for the same power rating, SMPS is of smaller size, lighter in weight and possesses higher efficiency because of its high frequency operation. SMPS is less sensitive to input voltage variations. Okay, less sensitive to input voltage variations. Then the disadvantages of SMPS are, the SMPS has higher output ripple and its regulation is worse. Then SMPS is a source of both electromagnetic and radio interference due to high frequency switching. And the last one is control of radio frequency noise require the use of filter on both input and output of SMPS. So the advantages possessed by SMPS far outweigh their shortcomings. Okay, that means advantages possessed by SMPS is far better than their shortcomings. That's why this is the reason for their widespread popularity and growth. So this is all about SMPS. You go through the book and make the note of this SMPS part. Okay, thank you.